Hello party people, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Tori. Thank you so much for being here today. For today's video, I thought I could do a little summer favorites video and kind of get you all caught up on some of my favorite fashion items, makeup items, and just generally things I've been loving lately. It's been a minute since I've recorded a proper sit down video with you all, and I'm happy to finally be back in the swing of things. There were a few things that were really plaguing me. They were kind of keeping me from filming. The first being that I moved. I'm not sure if you can actually tell based on this video, but I'm in a new apartment. I moved at the beginning of June back to Los Angeles, and it's been really hard for me to try and find time and a space in my new apartment to film, so that was kind of difficult. And then secondly, I was going through a lot of stuff like physically. For the better part of the summer, I've been dealing with really bad sunburn on my lips. I don't know how I did not think to put SPF on my lips, but I've been dealing with like crusty, dusty, burning lips for the past 6 weeks. And when your lips are not in great condition, you know, you don't really want to record yourself, stare at yourself for hours as you edit, post that version of yourself online. So I wasn't really in the YouTube mood. And then right as my lips were healing, I got a bug bite on this eye and it was swollen. Luckily, we're mostly finished. We're mostly recovered. Please do not look too closely at my lips. But with that being said, we're back, baby. It's very nice to see you. And so without further ado, let's hop into my favorites. I think we should start off with my fashion favorites. These are the pieces that I've been wearing non-stop. The first two pieces I want to talk about are pieces that I got from the Gap and Doan collab earlier this year. I actually had no intention of shopping this collaboration until I saw these pieces in store, and two of these pieces look very similar to Doan pieces that I've been coveting for a while and that are also on my mood board. I'll probably throw my mood board up here somewhere. But if you've been following this channel or if you know me at all, you know that I love a nice white blouse, and I love this one from the collaboration. I just really love the puff sleeves. I love that there's this really beautiful like star embroidery in the collar. I also kind of love that this shirt is a little sheer, so you can kind of see the lace bra that I always choose to wear with it. With the like added sheerness, I think it just adds a very playful and fun element. And then I also got this beautiful cotton poplin skirt, which again, if you know me, if you've seen any of my videos from the past year, I have been loving a white skirt, and this is adding to my collection. I also find that this white skirt is a little bit sheer, but to combat that, I just wear a half slip underneath, and I feel like it gets the job done. I love both of these pieces. I don't usually style them together, but for the purposes of the lookbook, we are styling them together. The next two pieces that I've been gravitating towards are very much the opposite of these two pieces, in the sense that these are my very casual pieces that I've been grabbing when it's so hot outside I can barely stand to have clothes on my body. Starting off with the top, I have this really simple kind of boxy fit striped t-shirt. I just like love the cut and the thickness of this shirt. I don't know what it is about it, but it's really just like the one that I always go to. I think it's the boxy cut. I think it really just allows for like the perfect amount of breeze to really hit me, I suppose. And then I've also been wearing these boxer-esque shorts that I got from Aritzia last year during their summer sale. They're so easy to throw on. I'll wear them, you know, to bed. I'll wear them to the beach. I'll wear them when I'm just like trying not to sweat through my clothes. I feel like these are not the most like fashion forward pieces, but this is very true to my style on a day-to-day basis. The next fashion piece that I've really been loving lately is this top that I got from the Reformation extended sizes range. This also might be my most worn top of the year so far, because I have been wearing it everywhere, and this has truly been the top that keeps on giving. I love how girly it is, like the feminine details with the lace and the bow, and kind of just like the way it fits my torso. I think the baby blue is just totally sweet and darling. I have worn this piece when I'm sweating my ass off doing sightseeing in Mexico City. I wore it on vacation to the beach. I've worn it to my friend's bachelorette dinner. It just is perfect for all of those kinds of occasions. I really wish that Reformation would extend their extended sizes range to include even more of their pieces. So please, Reformation, if you're watching this, you're probably not, but please we need more. We definitely need more. Obviously, hats and baseball caps are a huge summer staple, and this is the one that I have that I've been reaching for time and time again. It is this hat that I got last summer at Sweet Pickle Books over in New York City, and I feel like it just perfectly encapsulates my personality. I love the color Kelly green. I love merch of all kinds. I love books and I love pickles, so Sweet Pickle Books just feels so right. Sweet Pickle Books is actually a bookstore over in Chinatown, I believe, in New York, and it's a used bookstore, and if you bring in used books, you can actually trade in your used books for jars of pickles, which I think is really fun and really sweet. It's not necessarily brat green, but I do love a good Kelly green moment, and I've been into that color for quite a while, so I just love it. Can't get enough. Oh, I kind of have hat here, but it's fine. The last fashion favorite that I have to share with you is not groundbreaking at all, and I admit that, okay? It is a pair of flip-flops. I have a pair of Havaianas. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm butchering that name for sure. But it's a flip-flop girl summer. I was really into flip-flops last year, but my dogs ate that pair, so I had to pick up a new one for this summer, and I love it. I feel like there's just something so brat, so cunty about the clacking sound that flip-flops make while you're walking. It feels very sassy. It feels very girl in a rom-com to me, and I love it. I don't know what else to say about flip-flops. I feel like that's that. But in a time where people are literally buying rubber sandals that look identical to the kinds of sandals my mom picks up at the Asian market, I felt like I just had to mention them. You know, they are a staple in the summer for a reason, and they're now a staple in my closet. Moving on to like makeup and skincare products. The first is a product that went viral a couple of years ago, and I only just recently fell into the hype, and that is the Westman Atelier bronzing drops. I'm personally someone who gets tan very easily, but even then my face is always a little bit paler than the rest of my body, so I really love this stuff. I love wearing this on its own with just like moisturizer and SPF to kind of like add a little bit of bronziness and a little bit of glow to my face. I also really like the way this looks under makeup. I feel like it just lays very nicely. However, I would just say I know this is very expensive and there are other bronzing drops on the market, but I got this during a sale, so it kind of felt worth it. And I'll also say that this does feel a little bit slick and oily when you first apply it, but I do have like combination to oily skin, and this didn't really break me out too much, which I'm very grateful for. But it's just a little something to keep in mind. I feel like when it comes to putting things on my face, I'm very aware of how things sit and feel on my skin. So it does feel a little bit oily at first, but after 10 minutes, it really just leaves you feeling dry and glowy. My second favorite makeup product is one that I was gifted, and it is this Merit 1980 brow gel. I believe that's what it's called. I have it in the tinted color black brown. I feel like in the thick of summertime, you really just want things that are very easygoing, quick, something that feels very natural but will last all day, and I think that's also kind of like Merit's ethos in a way. There's not much else to say. I'm wearing it today. I feel like it gives my brows the perfect amount of filled in, and it kind of keeps them at bay. I will say though, when my eyebrows do get a little bit more grown out, I do have other products that I gravitate towards more, but since my eyebrows are a little fresh, I'm wearing it and I love it. I feel like we can't talk about summer without talking about SPF, and this is one of my favorite SPF products this summer, and that is the Vacation Super Spritz SPF 50 Face Mist. Now, I do not use this in place of like a face SPF, like a face cream SPF. I kind of use this more as like a finishing spray, especially when I'm like on vacation or I'm on the beach or in places where I know I'm going to be exposed to the sun for longer. Sometimes if I'm going on like a hot girl walk or going to the farmer's market, I'll also carry this in my bag just to kind of spritz myself, maybe spritz my ears and my décolletage a little bit. As you can see, I have taken it to the beach. The mist is fine, it settles really nicely, and it also doesn't sting your eyes. Let me kind of, hopefully this will catch on camera. Gorge. I also love the scent of this stuff. It has like the classic vacation scent. It smells like pina colada mixed with SPF, but a little bit heavier on the coconut side, and it is so good. For this last part of the video, I'm going to share with you all the things I've been loving to watch and listen to. I haven't been reading, that's a lie. I'm reading, but I haven't found a book that I've really loved since the last time we chatted. I think the last time I did a favorites, I talked about I'm a Fan by Sheena Patel, and that is probably still my favorite read of 2024. But currently I do not have a read that I'd like to report back. So we're reading now. Hopefully the one that I'm reading right now is a banger. It's feeling like a banger, but I'm only like 100 pages in, so remains to be seen. The first thing I wanted to mention was Letterboxd. I don't know why, but I feel like 2024 is the year of me logging on to Letterboxd a little bit more regularly. I feel like there's like a spectrum of people on Letterboxd. There's people who are trying to write the longest, most detailed review you've ever read, paragraphs and paragraphs long. And then there are people who are trying to write like the quippiest one-liner. I'm definitely someone who skews a little bit more towards the one-liner, but I don't really care to be on Letterboxd in that way. I think for myself, I'm really just loving the data and seeing what I've been watching this year. And I've been a little bit more adamant about always logging on Letterboxd. I am that girly at the end of the movie who is immediately on her phone. And then when it comes to things that I've watched that I would definitely recommend, I think for me, I've been loving Hacks on HBO Max. If you are not watching Hacks, what are you doing? And then I also really loved the limited series A Murder at the End of the World starring Emma Corrin. I have the biggest crush on Emma Corrin now. Like, loved them in The Crown, obviously, but something about this role, I was like, oh my God, I'm in love with them. I actually started watching the show because I saw a Variety Actors on Actors with Elizabeth Debicki and Emma Corrin, and Emma Corrin was talking about this show and talking about working with Britt Marling, and I was like, let me tune in, okay? The name kind of gives you a little hint onto what it's about, but it's a whodunit. Basically what happens is this like tech billionaire has like this like summit, a meeting of the minds, if you will, in this like very remote location in Iceland, and one of the people invited dies. And it's great, okay? I feel like the reviews on Letterboxd were a little crazy because some people were like, that was a little predictable, and I'm like, is that not the point of a whodunit? Like, shouldn't there be clues in every episode or in most scenes to let you know who killed the person? Anyways, I thought it was good. I literally binged it in 2 days. I feel like Emma Corrin was snubbed at the Emmys, but that's a different conversation for sure. Otherwise, there haven't really been too many movies that I've watched lately that I want to write home about. The last one I mentioned to all of you was Challengers, and I do still feel like I'm on the Challengers train. I still have been listening to that album, yes. That score has been phenomenal. Other albums I've been listening to lately, of course, Brat by Charlie XCX. I have been a Charlie XCX angel for the longest time. I think my favorites off this album are the Girls So Confusing remix with Lorde, obviously, B2B, Back to Back, Guess, Spring Breakers, and then probably I might say something stupid. Is that crazy? I've also really been loving the Heat EP that SG Lewis and Tovlo put out. Like, that definitely is a part of the Brat summer canon, especially to me and my friends. Been loving New Kate Renata, the whole album. Need to see him on tour this year. And then I've also really been loving Role Model's new album, Kansas Anymore. My favorite one from that is probably Superglue. That is probably my favorite track. Okay, my camera is overheating and I have nothing else to talk about, so I guess that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Please let me know what your summer favorites are. I'd love to know them. Please leave them down below. I love when we chat in the comments. If you want to see more from me, feel free to follow me over in all of my socials. I will list them all below. I will see you very, very soon for my next video. Bye!